Hello, my name is Alana Reed. I am a Pilates instructor in New York City. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a POTS workout developed by Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I've put into the workout a couple of my own modifications. Follow along. Today we're going to be using a looped band, or you could just tie up a TheraBand like I did. A Pilates magic circle. If you don't have a magic circle, you could also use a small exercise ball. Let's begin on hands and knees. If you have any sensitivity in your wrist, if you have any pain being on hands and knees, feel free to come up onto your fists. In this position, the shoulders are down, the abdominals are pulled in, so much so that your back should be slightly lifted. We're trying to avoid letting the back sink toward the floor. So the abdominals are pulling in. And we're going to extend the opposite arm and leg. I'm going to start with my left arm and right leg. We're trying to fully extend the elbow and the knee and lower back down. And now we'll go with the right arm and left leg and lower down. If this feels like too much right now, feel free to just move one half of the body. Maybe just move the arms today or the legs today, and we'll switch again. So one thing that is important in this position is that the head is lifted. So we're trying to, as much as possible, let the head be in line with the spine. It's easy in this position to let the head totally fall. We're trying to lift the back of the neck so that the head is somewhat in line with the spine. Let's go one more time with the left arm and right leg. And now we'll switch to the right arm and left leg and lower down. From here, we're going to sit back for a moment in child's pose, stretching out the back, letting the head drop down, and we'll make our way into a plank. So we're going to be on our forearms and our toes, and we're holding a plank position. If this feels like a lot of strain in your neck or your back, feel free to try it on your knees. But otherwise, let's go ahead and hold plank with a straight leg. So we're gonna hold for about 10 seconds, and then we'll lower the knees down again and sit back on the heels. And we're ready to come back up onto hands and knees, or fists and knees if that's what you prefer. And we're going to start again with the left arm and right leg. So shoulders are down, abs are in, and we're ready to go. Left arm and right leg. And lower down. And now right arm and left leg. And lower down. Left arm and right leg. And lower down. Right arm and left leg. And lower down, left arm and right leg, and lower down, right side. And we're going to do one more set, starting with the left side. And now the right side. And go ahead and sit back in child's pose. And we're going to make our way into our plank again. So forearms are on the ground. My forearms are parallel with each other, so they should look like a number 11. And we're going to stretch our legs behind us. Again, feel free to do this on your knees if that feels better in your back and neck. So a plank is for so many parts of the body. You may feel your abdominals working, your shoulders working, your back working a little bit, your legs working. And we'll lower the knees down and sit back on the heels. Feel free to do another set of hands and knees, the hands and knees exercise and the plank. But for now, we're going to flip over onto our back and take the magic circle ball. You can even use a pillow between your knees. So I'm placing the circle between my inner thighs, just below my knees. My feet are about hip bone distance apart, and I'm going to squeeze the circle and release, and squeeze and release. So as I'm moving, I'm just kind of taking stock on how my body is feeling. The neck should be relaxed. The back should be relaxed. If you feel like you have some strain in your neck and you'd be more comfortable with a pillow under your head, that might be a good option. So we're going to do 10 squeezes here. So I'm on number 7. I'm going to do 3 more. So as you might have guessed, this exercise targets the inner thighs. So one way to keep the inner thighs engaged the whole time is to keep weight in the big toe while squeezing and releasing. So that keeps the inner thigh engaged the whole time. I'm going to put my circle aside now. And we're going to go on to work the back of the thigh, the hamstrings. So just to get the hamstrings fired up, first I'm going to feel as though I'm about to pull my heels backwards, but I don't actually move them. I just go through the action of preparing to pull my heels back. So I'm going to pull my heels back and then lift my seat up off the ground and then roll all the way down. So we pull back with the heels and then lift the hips up. So as I mentioned before, this is a hamstring exercise. You may also feel this in your seat, in your glutes, or in your abdominals. This should not be felt as a back exercise primarily. If this does feel like it's just a back exercise and you're not really feeling the engagement in the backs of the legs despite trying that preparation of pulling the heels back, then just do the heels back portion of it. Skip the hip lift. Another modification you can make is you can change the height of the hips. There's benefit to lifting the hips at any height. So maybe you don't lift your hips up too high today. Maybe you can keep the effort in the backs of your legs by keeping your hips a little lower. That's a nice modification. And I'm going to lower my hips all the way down. From here, I'm going to bring my hands to the back of the head, and I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground. So in this position, you should feel your abdominals engage. It's nice to try to get this movement out of the neck. So try pressing your head back into your hands so that you really feel your head heavy in your arms. And perhaps I'm hoping that you'll feel a little bit more engagement in your abdominals. So I like to take this as about a 10-second hold and then lower all the way down. From here, we're going to bring the feet and knees all the way together, and we're going to extend the right leg out into the air. And we're going to start off just holding this position. Sometimes when the leg extends, the back also wants to extend and the back lifts away from the floor. Let's try to keep the back in the same position it initially was before we lifted the leg, so that for me, my back is pretty close to the floor and I'm trying to keep it that way. Now I'm going to lower this leg down toward the height of the left ankle and then lift it up to the height of the right knee. So we're lowering down to the height of the ankle and lifting up to the height of the knee. So this exercise is for the front of the thigh, for the quadricep. If you're feeling this as a back exercise or perhaps even a neck exercise, try keeping the movement a little higher. Maybe you don't lower down to the height of the ankle. Or maybe it just felt most effective in your body to keep the leg still up at the height of the knee. So listen to yourself. And one more time. And now let's just give that right knee a hug. Let it relax, let your shoulders relax. And now we'll go on to the left side. So we're going to extend the left side out so the knees are in line with each other. The abdominals are pulling in. You're trying really hard to keep the shape of the back the same. So the abdominals are pulling in. We're going to try to keep the back very still as you lower the leg down to the height of the ankle and lift it up to the height of the knee. So we're going to do this 10 times. As you're doing this, you're taking stock in how your neck is feeling, how your back is feeling. You're trying to pull your abdominals toward the floor so that the back stays very still as the leg moves up and down. Sometimes sometimes this is felt not in the front of the thigh, but in the inside of the thigh. If that's the case for you, try opening the left leg a little wider. Sometimes that helps target the quadricep a little more. We're going to do just 2 more of these. And last time. And bend the left knee into the chest, give it a hug. From here, we're going to take the looped band. And if you don't have a looped band, that's okay. You can do the exercise without it. And we're going to put the looped band over the thighs. And I'm going to roll over to my right side so that I'm facing the camera, but you could start on the left side if that works better for you. I'm going to relax my neck down into the floor. If you feel like your neck is straining in this position, feel free to add a pillow under your head. I'm going to start off with my heels squeezing together and my knees are going to come apart. I'm lifting the top knee up as high as I can go and then slowly lower it down and lift it up and lower down. So while I'm moving this way, my shoulders are relaxed, my abdominals are pulling in, and there's really no strain in my back or my neck. If there is, then feel free to add some props like a pillow. Some people prefer to have their head lifted. If that feels better for you, go for it. We're going to do just 1 more like this. And next we're going to lift the entire top leg up and lower them down. So I'm hoping that you're starting to feel some work in your outer hip, maybe the top of the thigh. Even feeling a little bit of effort in the inside of the thigh is appropriate here. As you might have guessed, where I don't want you to be feeling this is in your back. And if you are, then I would take a rest from this and try again perhaps to join and try to keep the effort in the top of the leg. Good, so my hip is getting pretty tired. Yours should be too. We're going to do 1 last set here. So we're going to lift the top leg up and we're going to make a small circle with the top knee. I like to think of making a circle maybe the size of a basketball, so not a very big circle. The knee is leading the charge, so the knee is what's circling. We're going to do 4 more. This is getting quite intense for me. 3 more, 2, and 1. Now we'll reverse the circle. We're going to circle for 10, 9, 8. So again, make sure your shoulders are relaxed. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Let's lower that down. We're going to keep the band around our thighs as you flip back over onto your back. And we're going to repeat the whole sequence that we did on, most of the whole sequence that we did on our back earlier. So we're skipping the inner thigh squeezes. We're going to save those for later. For now, we're going to pull back with the heels and lift the hips up off the ground and then lower down. Sometimes in this position, the shoulders start to creep up by the ears. It's nice to kind of walk your fingers towards your feet to make sure that the shoulders are nice and relaxed. Your gaze should be lifted up toward the ceiling. That helps put your neck in the right position. So just a reminder, this is for your glutes or the hamstrings. So you should feel some activity in the backs of the legs. If you don't, and you're feeling this more in your back, skip the hip lift today and just go to that prep where you're just engaging the backs of the legs by pulling your heels back a little bit. We'll take just 2 more like this. And 1 more time. From here, I'm going to bring my hands to the back of the head and lift the head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground. Press the head into the hands so that there's some weight in your hands. And we're going to hold this position. Try to get your shoulder blades up off the ground. So there's a pretty good lift in the upper back. And the reason we're trying for that big lift is so that the effort is coming from the abdominals, that this isn't so much of a neck lift. And hopefully you'll feel less strain in your neck if you really give yourself a big lift up off the floor. And we're ready to lower all the way down. We're going to walk the feet and knees together, extend the right leg out into the air, and just maybe do that again and just notice what happens to your back as you extend the leg out. Hopefully there's no big shift. So you're trying to keep the abdominals in, to keep the shape of the back consistent as you move. And from here, we're going to lower the right leg down to the height of the ankle and lift it back up. And I think I forgot to mention this. As you're working today, make sure that you are breathing, just breathing regularly. Sometimes when learning new exercises, we hold our breath. So I'm just going to cue the breath a little bit, just as a reminder to keep breathing. So we're going to inhale as you lower, and exhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale to lift, and one more time, inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. Bend the knee, put the foot down, pull the abdominals in, and extend the left leg out. We're just going to hold the left leg here, and maybe just turn your head a little from side to side. Just notice how your neck is feeling. Maybe you need to walk your fingers forward. Maybe your shoulders have started to come up toward your ears. And now we're ready to move this left leg, lower it down toward the floor, and lift it back up. So inhale as you lower, and exhale, lift. That's just a suggestion. It's just important to keep breathing. You don't have to breathe along with me. Just don't hold your breath. So we're going to do 6 more lifts. And this is 5. There's benefit to just holding the leg in the air at any height. So if you prefer not to move today, you can just hold the leg still and you'll still be strengthening your quadricep. 2 more. And 1 more time. And bend the knee. And I'm going to roll over to my left side, but I'm going to move to the other end of the mat just so that you can see me. But feel free to just roll over without sitting up. And we're ready to start the second side. I'm just going to move this knot so that it's not in between my thigh and the floor. We start off with the abdominals in, squeezing the heels together. Lift the top knee and lower down, and lift it up and lower down. So here we're trying to keep our hips facing forward, shoulders facing forward. So I'm lifting the knee up as high as I can go without rocking backwards. I'm going to do 3 more like this. This is 2 and 1. Now I'm going to lift the entire top leg up and lower down and lift it up. So we're trying to lift the whole top leg up as a unit. So the foot and knee arrive in the air at the same time and they descend at the same time. So we're going to do 4 more like this. And just a reminder, you should be feeling the top of your leg working maybe around your hip. And it's even common to feel the bottom leg, which is your standing leg or supporting leg, working as well. If you're feeling some activity in the lower leg, it might help to relax your foot. Now let's rest for a moment, and let's go ahead and lift the top leg up, and we're going to start to make a small circle with the entire leg. We're going to circle 10 times in each direction. So this is 3. So while we're circling here, the intensity is building. We're trying not to bring intensity to the upper back, so trying to keep the shoulders relaxed, the neck relaxed, even the jaw relaxed. A little trick I learned is to put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. It helps the jaw relax. Let's go ahead and reverse circles. So this is number 4, and we're going to 10. We have 5 to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. From here, we're going to take the band off of the thighs. Grab your circle, your ball, or your pillow, whatever you're using for your inner thigh squeezes. And let's place that back between the inner thighs. feet are flat on the floor. See if you can feel your inner toe, the big toe, pressing down into the floor, and go ahead and squeeze. As you release the circle, continue pressing that big toe down into the floor and squeeze again and release and squeeze and release and squeeze and release, squeeze and release and squeeze and release. We're going to take 4 more like this. So if the intensity in this is feeling pretty light, you can increase the number of repetitions, you can change the tempo. Sometimes that adds some fire to the exercise. And let's go ahead and release this. And we're going to roll back over to our side. It can be the left side or the right side. And this time we're going to keep the bottom knee bent and extend the top leg out. It's close to the line of the body. The height of the leg is close to the line of the body. We're going to lift the leg up a couple inches and then lower down just to the height of the body and lift it up and lower down and lifting up. So we're back to working the top of the thigh again. Just a reminder, if this feels like a lot of work in the lower leg, relax your foot. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed, abdominals in, and you're breathing. Good. From here, we're going to turn the whole leg in slightly so the toes are pointed down, and we lift the leg up and lower down and lift up, and we lower down and lift. We'll keep going like this. Good. We're going to take just 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we turn out the leg, toes face the ceiling. So these sideline lifts are quite intense. We're doing a total of 60 leg lifts today. If you're new to the program, feel free to do a little bit at a time. Maybe today 10 leg lifts feels appropriate and challenging enough, but really listen to your body, and you can work your way up to doing the full workout. And this is the last one. And we're going to flip right back over to the back, and we're going to grab the circle, pillow, whatever you're using for your inner thigh squeezes, and we're going to squeeze the circle again and release, and we squeeze again and release. So your gaze is looking up at the ceiling, fingertips are reaching forward, and we'll take just 5 more squeezes. Just a reminder, this is intended to work the inner thigh muscles. Keep the abdominals pulled in as you're working. We're going to take 2 more. And last time. Good, let's go ahead and get rid of the prop, and you're going to roll over to the other side. I'm going to sit up and turn around. The bottom knee is bent and the top leg is straight. We're going to extend the top leg out so it's as far away from your head as possible. Lift it up a little bit higher than your hip and lower down. And we lift it up and lower down. Keep moving like this. Shoulders are relaxed, jaws relaxed. If your neck doesn't feel good, just a reminder, you can always add a pillow, prop yourself up onto your hand. We're going to take just 4 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. Now we turn the whole leg in, so toes and knees are pointed down toward the floor. Good, so shoulders are down, and we're trying to let the shoulders and hips face forward. We're going to take 4 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll turn out the leg and we lift it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, and 1. Good, that was enough of that. From here, we're going to come all the way up to standing now.